G'day guys, in this video I'm going to give a brief update on a few things regarding the Aurory project and talk about some things that catch my attention. As you probably heard, Aurory completed their IDO a few weeks ago, closing at a price of around $15.50 USD. After that it was released onto some exchanges and dipped down to under $12 for a short amount of time, and since then has managed to climb up to $23. Partially helped by the news that single-sided Aury staking is coming out any day now on the Aurory website. Please be 110,000% sure you stake on the correct website. There will definitely be scammers who make fake websites and try to steal people's funds. Moving on. I decided to participate in the IDO, so I got them for $15.50 per Aury token, and there was a fair few people who were not happy with the IDO because the price went down afterwards. People felt like they were somehow ripped off, which I disagree with completely. Just to explain it shortly, the way it worked was they had 7 million tokens in a pool, and let's say for example we wanted to put in $1,000, and when the IDO finished there was a total of $10,000 in the pool. Then we would receive 10% of these 7 million tokens because 1,000 is 10% of the 10,000 total. Obviously I've changed the numbers just for this example. The pool also makes visible the amount of USD in the pool at any time, so we can fairly judge whether we think the tokens are priced correctly. If we like the price, we keep our $1,000 in there. If we didn't like the price and we think it's overpriced, we could take out some or all of our $1,000. So what happened was the pool had, I think, over $300 million in it at one point, but as the IDO came to a close, many whales took out their money and the total deposited came down to roughly $150 million. I think it was a great choice by the developers because it allowed everyone from people only able to afford $100 to people able to afford $100 million the same guaranteed price. I think it prevents these kind of massive pumps and FOMO caused largely by whales and superfans. It also allows the developers to get a greater amount of money for which to actually make the game. I've seen a few other projects which were very hyped and whales were able to buy all of the token supply, then make all the money by selling to everyone else at a premium. And the developers get nothing. It seems pretty stupid on a bunch of levels there. Cough cough YGG. Anyway, moving on from that, there has been a number of NFTs airdropped to Aurorian holders. First there was this Bytebit, then this Helios one. Then for Halloween they airdropped these 3 NFTs not only to Aurorian holders but also to Aury holders. If you had 1 Aurorian in the wallet, you would receive this one. If you had 2 Aurorians in the wallet, you would receive 2 of these and 2 of these. If you had 3 Aurorians in the wallet, you would receive 3 of these and 3 of these. If you had a minimum amount of Aury in your wallet, you would receive this one. I wasn't able to find out the exact requirements for the Aury one, but you get the idea. A bit before that, there was a vote on Discord to decide if the DAOrory, which is the DAO owned and run by the Aurorian holders, will be handed over to the community to make decisions and organize things, or if it will be managed by the Aurory game developers instead for now. And the result was an overwhelming yes to pass control of the DAOrory into the hands of the community. I think it's very cool. You get a load of diehard fans in one space to make decisions and input their ideas. I recommend joining the Discord to have a read of things regarding the DAOrory, although it might only be accessible to verified Aurorian holders, so there's that. I'm sure you've seen these cool gameplay samples which have been released, so I won't go over that now, but you can check it out for yourself if you haven't seen them. Now, on to the juice of this video. At least one of these statements is true. The Aurorians are undervalued, or the Aury tokens are overvalued. The reason for this is simple. The Aurorian NFT floor price has been hovering around the 20 Sol price point. If we assume Solana equals $250, then that's a $5,000 floor price. The Aury token has pumped recently to over $20. So why do we care about this? Well, owning an Aurorian grants rights to a % ownership of the Aurorian DAO. The Aurorian DAO owns 5% of the Aury tokens to be released at some point in the future, as stated in the white paper. That's 5% of 100 million Aury tokens. 5% of 100 million Aury tokens is 5 million Aury tokens. 5 million divided by 10,000, which is the amount of Aurorian NFTs there are, equals 500 Aury tokens. Each Aurorian NFT indirectly owns rights to 500 Aury tokens per Aurorian. 500 Aury tokens, it's hard to say Aury that much. 500 Aury tokens at a price of $20 is $10,000. So you could right now buy an Aurorian NFT for between $5,000 and $5,500, and as summed up perfectly by this Twitter post, gain a % ownership of the DAOrory, whose treasury contains rights to 5% of the total Aury supply, which is currently $10,000 for each Aurorian NFT, 1,000 Solana from the minting process, 10,000 Solana from the continuing Aurorian transaction fee sales, a % cut of the in-game marketplace fees. Oh, and also you get free airdrops, early access to play future game modes, boosted in-game rewards, customized playable in-game avatars, and more. Now, it is possible that the Aury tokens are actually overvalued. Let's try to factor that in. Let's assume the Aury price based on the current Aurorian NFT price. One could argue that half is what the NFT is worth and half is what the rest is worth. The rest, as we've seen, is currently 500 Aury tokens, 0.1 Solana from the minting process, 1 Solana from the NFT marketplace fees, and we're going to ignore the rest of it because as of yet they are not functioning yet, or basically unknown or undefined. With Solana valued at around $250, 1.1 Solana equals $275. So half the value of $5,000 is $2,500 minus $275 worth of Solana equals $2,225, meaning 500 Aury could be worth $2,225, making the price of Aury $4.45 and the Aurorian worth 10 Solana. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, Aury at $4.45 and each Aurorian at 10 Solana is ridiculous. That's not going to happen. Why would you even think that? Blah, blah, blah. Personally, I think these prices are very unlikely, but it's important to remember that they are entirely possible. If we had another kind of global black swan event, all bets would be off. Even these low values I've just proposed would be too high. Let's not forget that the mint price of each Aurorian was originally 5 Solana, and Solana itself was worth only $125 at the time, whereas now it's worth $250. And it wouldn't necessarily take some kind of big black swan event for that to happen. It could be just a midterm bear market. So what do you think? What's your price prediction for these tokens? Do you disagree completely? I'd love to read your comments. That's it for this video. I'd recommend following @AuroryDAO on Twitter if you want to keep up to date on all things Aurory. Somehow that guy has all the good alpha drops. And follow me too while you're there @AngelWithJetpack. Catch you next time.